Gaming going up against X-Sync here in a best-of-3 series straight up. There are no advantages. This is the new format, part of the new format of this season from the new group stages, which has been a lot of fun. Now the brackets, now we're at the playoff stage, and thus how it works now in the grand finals to top it all off. So straight up best of 3. That's what's coming at you guys. Complexity and X-Sync. We'll see what happens here. Excited to be here at game number 1. Of course, Complexity, a little bit of a trek to get here. Had a great finish in the group stage, just ultimately qualifying in 3rd place. They took on BMG yesterday. They took them out 2-0. Then they just defeated Reason Gaming, who had lost to X-Sync yesterday as well. And they just defeated them, though, 2-1 in a great series that we just had. Thus why they are here. X-Sync, on the other hand, as we pointed out, they defeated Reason Gaming. They only dropped 2 games in total in the group stages. Now, to be fair, one of those games was to Complexity in the group stages. So, there is that on top of Complexity is looking pretty damn good. But they just had a bit of a grind. That's why we even had a little bit of a break here before we got things kicked off. X-Sync, on the other hand, they've been sitting back and enjoying things. Well, now they're good to go. So here we go. I'm joined by Snooey once again as my co-caster. Snooey, the grand finals are here.
Hunter Season 1, Cycle number 1, Grand Finals, about to kick off. Exciting. Exciting indeed. And I love how Complexity just picked that Tremble first pick. They're like, we are not by any means going to give you this hero. Yeah. Because that's the hero that, for some reason, like Sync, they just value it so damn high. They first pick or second pick it in every single game. At least it did so during the group stage. So Complexity definitely learned a lesson, and they're going to snatch it for themselves.
Well, you look at the initial ban, speaking of that, because that's definitely a hero you'd almost expect to be banned, but Ophelia, Midas, Warbeast, and Behemoth. So how about Insania over there taking out Midas and Behemoth as his 2 bans, valuing that a little bit more, but also make it a little bit tough because, then like a Moira's open, and obviously as we see here, the Tremble. So basically saying that you will give you one of those, we'll take the other kind of deal. So Tremble, though, yeah, too good to pass up here, clearly, for Complexity. They take it. The Moira response, though, we got Moraxis in a Fade, and now Parasite picked up into what is Dr. Repulsor here with the final pick. So that's what we're looking at so far, the 3 heroes for either side. Complexity, what you got, he's going to get to play as Parasite here in the jungle at least, but Fade, I mean, Sync has been doing a little bit of Fade lately themselves.
That they definitely have, both in the mid role and, of course, in that secondary support role. I would assume that it's going to be played by Matthias, or aka Own Me. He usually is the one that feels more comfortable playing it, but of course Mickey has been playing it at times as well, so they got a lot of options when it comes to laning phase, at least. But I feel like Complexity already got a pretty solid draft to work around the Fade, as we saw in the previous game, of course. I mean, they had both the Moraxis and the Parasite. That, like, Moraxis had that bound diet all the time, and of course, seeing as he's so tanky, he's not going to drop in the first place. And Parasite, of course, with a puzzle box, so it didn't necessarily work out that well for Recent Gaming. I wonder if Sync Esports is going to be more successful with it.
Yeah, we'll see the 4th pick, Empath, coming out. Seems to be just a good support hero to go with the Tremble. Obviously, that damage assistant as well as the attack speed even. Great for allowing Tremble to get kills quickly, as he has potential too, of course. So, going to go with the Empath support here.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I like that, though. It goes well with the Tremble, that's given. But other than that, like, let's just say the Dr. Repulsor or Fade, for example, is going to open up on one of your teammates. Like, as an empath, you cannot really prevent anything from happening in that case. Like, if you were an Andromeda or Mora, you just ultimate out your teammate. But in this case, like, empath, yeah, sure, I mean, he can jump inside of the target, but then he's just going to put himself in a risk position himself. And I don't feel like it's necessarily does that well versus Dr. Repulsor in terms of lockdown. So if the Hellborn team just were to go for an offensive tri-lane here now and ward up the Legion's forest, so Parasite would have to rotate over to the Hellborn forest instead, and Tremble, well, he wouldn't be able to get any farm from his safe lane either, so yeah, a little bit greedy almost, I think, from Complexity, like Parasite, Moraxis, and Tremble versus a team that's very known for playing a very active early game.
Wow. Okay, so they did this yesterday. They did this against Reason yesterday. They ran the Tundra as well, and also into a Parasite it just so happened to be. So there was that idea that was interesting. Now, I will say, in that game against Reason, it didn't necessarily have a big impact at all. I mean, Parasite wasn't really able to take... the parasite impact, that is. Whereas Tremble, or Tundra, excuse me, himself, Mickey actually played it fantastic. He had the top farm in the game for basically most of it, if not all of it, by the time it was finished, and it proved to just work out very well. I mean, they used it very aggressively as you'd hope for. So, but there we go. There's the Tundra pickup. Did you have the chance to see that game by chance?
I saw parts of it. I saw a 500 gold per minute Tundra like 50 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly impressive on his part. It's Mickey, so it's not as surprising, but if that would have been any other player on the scene, everyone would be like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? But since it's Mickey, everyone is just like, okay, normal, as expected. But no, obviously this guy is just a beast.
Bubbles, the 5th and final pick for Complexity on the other side of things, and I'm guessing that's actually going to be a fuzzy sloth Bubbles here, because they have been running Oscar as a Suicide Miraxis a bit, and against Moira as well. It's obviously pretty powerful there, so that's what I'm expecting at least, but we'll see if that ends up.
My concern is that I don't think that Tremble is going to be able to be in the safe lane. I think that they're going to have to transition him somewhere else, and then potentially have the Bubbles in the safe lane instead, and Tremble in the mid or something. I don't know. I don't think that Complex or Sick Esports here is going to allow Tremble to just free farm throughout the entire laning phase. Not with this kind of lineup that they have. Like, they literally have no stunts whatsoever that they can catch the Hellborn team with. Like, Empath, Essence Link isn't very reliable. Parasite, of course, doesn't have only got a slow. Miraxus cannot get in nearby, and Bubbles no stun, Tremble no stun. So I think that this is an offensive tri lane from Sync side, and then they have probably the Tundra in the mid and Kraken in the safe lane.
All right, Kraken going to get in the hands of Keizu here, and Tundra playing this lab, or Slap playing the Tundra more so.
No, Tundra is playing Slap.
Yeah, Slap the new hero.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, you never know. Slap playing the Tundra, though. That's so that definitely throws a little bit of a difference there for sure. Then, obviously, compared to just yesterday. But, again, to be fair, that was only one game. So it's not like this is something they're drastically changing here. So we do have a quick pause to kick it off, as obviously Zane making a point that they're ready to go. So as soon as the Allegiance side is good, then we will be all good and dandy here. Are you serious? Is this going to do this to me? My V key is not working.
Oh man!
Oh god, the
Is
V
it
key.
lock on the camera? But you helped me solve that problem last time. It was interface and then something sent. I don't know what it was after that, but
controls. Those controls. There we go. Let's see if that works.
yeah, locks the camera to stay on heroes at all times. I had to live through that entire series because I didn't know how to get it off.
It's so annoying. It's like, just press V. It's like, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm just going to relog real quickly, actually, see if that works.
I don't know. I even tried to, swap account, restart a client.
Okay.
Nothing worked, but hopefully you got better luck here.
Well, at least they're paused. Let me relog all together here real quickly.
They're paused.
All right. D&D. Okay. Let's join off with Keizu. Okay, so, but yeah, no, game one here, guys, of this best of three. It was Mickey playing the Doctor, right? Yeah. Okay,
that it was.
Here. Okay.
Oh, Slapdash actually the one playing the Tundra. Did we point that out? Yeah, we did. Never mind. With the whole name thing. I just...
By the way.
Okay,
really? Why is this doing this? The camera's still locked, even though it says it shouldn't be locked, and I can't actually move it.
Are you still locked on the hero? Oh man! But did you go into the interface and get that lock camera?
Yeah, it's
unchecked?
Just like a bug, man. I'm just gonna restart HON altogether here.
Someone told me that it worked out, or worked at times to get rid of the problem, but otherwise, like worst case scenario, we would just have to remake the game.
No. It's definitely not the game issue. It's a me issue. So remaking wouldn't do a thing. I think the restart should fix it though. I got like a checklist that I go through that whenever this issue comes up. So this is kind of the last thing on the checklist. So kind of hoping this just works. But yeah, so I'm reconnecting right now. But I assume they're still in the pause anyway. So
yeah, all shutting a little bit. We're waiting for you to fix or solve the problem. I don't think necessarily either team necessarily cares if it's paused longer than 5 minutes here. There's not necessarily any movements so far, so it's impossible to predict who's going where, and if someone is going for Conger, that's certainly not showing so far.
Yep. Okay, it's still a lot. This is so weird. All right, well, just let them. I mean, they can go, like so.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't want them to hold up. I don't want to hold up on this, but I'm gonna get this figured out real quickly.
All right.
There we go. It works. God, I did that. Anyways,
Nice.
all right. Here we are. Whew. All right, so this is the grand finals. Let's do kind of a reset here now after that happened. Matthias, by the way, going boots first on his fade action here.
I think that's what Masera went as well in
Yeah.
that final game.
Oh, we're not.
And they were just, running, starting out as the offensive tri-lane, but then, of course, adjusting as soon as they see who was there. And Bubbles, yeah, he's gonna... Oh, actually, that could have been awkward if he actually got stuck in the trees right there.
That could have been really bad, but he is good. He shell surfed down here aggressively. He wanted to get a water side down as soon as possible, but as we see, it was protected by X-Sync here, and he was unable to do that. So Fuzzy Sloth instead is going to have to wait a little bit longer, maybe place the ward elsewhere, as it's going to run into that. So they do notice all 5, of course, in their jungle, so I wonder if Complexity may try to change something up here with the lanes, maybe expecting something different. Kraken heading towards the top, so yeah, it is going to be an aggressive trial in here from X-Sync coming out.
Yeah, and the Bubbles in the safe lane, I think. No, Meraxis is in the safe lane, okay. So they're gonna run Bubbles in the long lane instead. I wonder why that's the case. I feel like Bubbles almost would have been better to have down there at the bot lane. But,
yeah. I don't know, Bubbles seems to me like better escape, but when he does get caught, like, he's just 100% screwed. Like, the takeover, it's so minor at the early level. Like, he has to at least have level 2 in it for it to be really significant. And whereas Meraxis, the Arcane Shield is good. So
that's true, but I don't know if Bubbles would have actually been caught at any point down there. They have a ward of sight as well. But we will see. I mean, look at that. I mean, the Warlock is already being killed here. The lane is going to push back, and then Oscar is going to be in, well, out of experience range, to say the least. Bubbles would have at least been able to go up a little bit when Fade roams around. Now Meraxis, well, he's still going to be outboxed by Mora, I would assume.
Yeah, that's... I mean, the way it's pushed up here, obviously, is able to get some kind of experience, sniping a last hit right there, trying to at least, so... At least able to do that, but having to deal with now with this pull of Fade, so Meraxis definitely in kind of an iffy spot, but honestly, it definitely goes back to you again. Just staying alive if you're him, if anything. And
oh, nice counter warning over here, by the way, by Love finding the ward. That's actually going to open up for Parasite to potentially rotate back. Oh, no, never mind, he's already here. He's farming the easy camp by out attacks. I missed that.
Yep, he was just farming it away and killing off the Vagabond Assassin right there before continuing to rotate. You do see the Hellborn team. They're using the Legion creep wave to continue to farm the jungle, though. So you see Parasite and Empath there. They're interested in trying to do something about it, but not a whole lot they can do.
Oh, if they would have got it blocked, that would have been a kill, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. Actually, Meraxis he hasn't leveled up the Quickstun yet, but he got it available if you want to.
Yeah, they're definitely having a nice little skirmish here, though, in the jungle.
As long as they can keep Parasite away from farm, I'm sure that Insania and Only here on Fade Mora are more than happy with the outcome. Top lane, by the way, I haven't talked too much about that. Bubbles versus Kraken. I would assume that that's going to be a relatively even matchup. Obviously, Bubbles isn't the strongest out attacker, so it's going to be hard to force Kraken out for lane, but at the same time, it's Fuzzy after all, so...
Tremble here in the middle lane and being played by Formless, 10-0 currently against Tundra, who's 10-2. We saw Mickey again just really dominate with the Tundra in the middle lane matchup yesterday. I forget exactly who he was going up against, actually, but...
seeing as it was versus Reason, I would have assumed that it was Masera.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the hero, though. It might have been Midas. Might have been Midas, and yeah, he was...
yeah, that was the case.
Pretty good. But Tremble here, especially with the Empath support, obviously Formless is able to get some pretty good farm here. So top lane, look at that. Bubbles being pressured pretty heavily here. Going to be forced to use a health potion against KZU on his Kraken.
Yeah, he's really, or still doing really well on terms of last hitting, actually being ahead of Kraken this early on is shows some promise for him. He's going to be taking a little bit more pressure here. He got the Marchers, of course, so does Kraken.
Tremble running away. Shards of Harkon, it does connect, but that mound of his going to help him get away. You do see Fade off to the side. In come the Glacial Spikes right there. Piercing Shards, excuse me. And they get the Bloodlust, though, on the Moira in the end. So Bloodlust kill coming out for Complexity, actually. As Insania simply gets caught trying to help for a kill right there. So numbers were just in favor of Complexity. Came together.
That they were. 4 people of them, of course, required to bring him down. But in the end, that is the first blood, and that's a pretty big deal at this point. Was it who? Yeah, it was Oscar as well. So that's going to provide him with the Marchers and a little bit more on top of that.
Oh, mana burn. Nice. Vagabond there coming in from Parasite.
What you got trying to make the most use of his hero right now. It's tricky though. He's got a Chalice now at least, but...
Well, that's actually pretty significant too, because it's definitely... I mean, Tundra now has no threat in terms of using those piercing shards of his, and to maybe out-harass Tremble here, get some last hits. I mean, the mana burn took it all away, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's of course good, but it's not what you really want. Like, you want to get to level 6 as soon as possible, and only go for like the gank attempts where you really secure kills.
Mm-hmm. Top lane, Bubbles. Shell Surf take cover. Nice wall from Empath, who happens to be up here as well. And that'll easily allow for the escape in the end. So Moira trying to be active, as Insania especially, and just in general, Moira would be. Unfortunately, not coming through right there, though, so the 1-0 lead for Complexity right now still stands. Overall, GPM charts saying that Dr. Repulsor is on top, but very little. Only 300 gold per minute, so actually not 320. Gets a nice little push out right there. As Moraxis, yeah, he's actually managed pretty well himself. I mean, he's level 5. Again, it really hasn't been a tri-lane. To be fair, the supporting cast has definitely been in the jungle, a little more active in the middle lane even, so I guess that kind of makes sense that he's able to do pretty well here. This bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, the first blood helped out a lot with that, of course. But, yeah, he's doing good. As Oscar tends to do.
Yeah.
Actually, it's easy to underestimate this guy playing the support or suicide and all. But in terms of gameplay, the guy is a beast. Like, if you play, I mean, if you, for example, go versus Oscar Silhouette, like a carry hero in TMM, like, you're screwed before the game even begins. Like, that's how good that the guy is with that hero. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, seeing as Formless doesn't necessarily play Silhouette, at least not for Complexity side, I wouldn't be surprised if they, once in a while, just swap that up and actually allow Oscar to play Silhouette carry. That would have been really interesting to see, at least.
That would be something, for sure. I know they've tried it with, like, a Doctor Repulsor, where Oscar's actually played a Doctor before. For them, I know what you guys was even talking to me about that a little bit, but I haven't necessarily seen that, though. But for now, keeping it pretty standard here. And 6 minutes into the game, Regen Rune picked up by Love, actually. Playing the Empath. Happens to be at the right place at the right time right there. Picks it up and takes it away, really, from Kraken, who actually has a bottle. So, yeah, that's a very good rune control there coming out from Empath at the right time. Definitely having an impact. You see the early Striders on a Fade. It is only level 2, though. They've been trying to set up kills. They're going to try once again here in the middle lane. Moira, no, not going to go for it. Empath and Tremble are here. Where's Boris, by the way? Is he bottom? Yeah, he's down here. Yeah. Boris is bottom 9, so... Oh.
Yeah, not used to seeing X-Sync not getting those early kills. Like, having Fade and Moira both only level 2 is definitely going to hurt them unless they can get some kills here now in the near future. And level 6 mark, I mean, it has been reached for both Kraken and Tundra, so the next few minutes here is going to be very crucial. Mm-hmm. So far, Complexity is doing a great job in actually avoiding all fights.
Dr. Repulsor. He's continuing to be pretty far pushed up, 362 gold per minute. You know, Boris was down here. I was really thinking that the Legion team was going to try to make a move and go for a gank onto him, and he is by himself. There is a ward of sight here, though, that he just placed recently, so he should be able to pick up on that, and, of course, has the ludicrous speed now in case they do try to set up a gank. So it is going to be tough if they try for it, for sure.
I probably need Parasite level 6 before they're going to try to attempt that.
Yeah, you see here. Tremble's like, okay, I'm coming in for the gank. Nope, he's seen. Doctor had the ward right on top of him. So he'll just transition instead to farm.
Yeah, I think that was the intention here, porting down there. Like, of course, you want to get a kill, but it was mostly because he just wanted to secure the farm now. I feel like us guys should be fine to take over that mid roll instead, versus the Tundra, of course. You can Arc and Shield away the Avalanche, but it's tricky.
Yeah, Dr. Repulsor finds more access right here. Parasite also nearby, though. So I don't know about this fight tank, but there's that avalanche. What you got is taken out. Moraxis kind of just hanging around. He's not going to throw out the stomp. I guess really just doesn't have enough nearby to try for something. So what you got just simply gets picked off, and that's the end of that. Heading towards the bottom lane, Moraxis with the invis still, as Tundra still roaming over, but Boris is going to make him fall back. Meanwhile, down here, just the illusion coming out from Moira. So this invis Moraxis, unfortunately not getting a whole lot out of it just yet, but it may right here. Dr. Repulsor. He's in trouble. Stomp open. There's the stomp. Here comes the extra lockdown with the net. Moira coming in for the quick return. Puts the start to hardcut just enough.
There we
no,
go.
It's not. It is enough burst.
The backup, though, for the Hellborn team.
Here comes Sex Sync, though. They want immediate revenge. They may get at least something on a Moraxis. Throws out another stomp. Trying to run now, and it might be enough, actually. Tremble still holding his ground. All four are here for X Sync. As Bubbles joins the party, by the way. He has a kill, but going to hit 3. Down goes Moraxis, but they're looking for more. Moira's in trouble. Moira is going to go down, and it is a 3 versus 2 now in favor of Complexity. So they come out on top, I think, does Complexity there.
That's certain to say. Like, Parasite wasn't even involved in that fight, and there were 4 versus 5 still winning. And, I mean, at this point, I would like put Complexity in such a disadvantage when it comes to team fighting. So them actually being able to pull off that fight right there, that means so much for them. And right now they are in the gold and experience lead versus 2 roamers on Sync's side. Like, this is a disaster if you're Sync Esports. It's not what you were looking for whatsoever.
Nope, and Tremble always a scary threat. Again, that first pick Tremble, usually you would really expect it to be banned in this series, but Sync took the risk right here, you could definitely say, and left it unbanned, and Formless gladly snatched it up right away. And obviously is off to that great start now. So you got the Warp Clef now purchased, so the Thunderclaw well in the works, already with the Steam Boots and the Mystic Vestments. He chose to go first. Parasite trying to get that rune control, but fades a little bit too quick and ended up picking up the regen rune just before him. So going to come up just short right there. Bottom lane, Doctor's back down to the bottom lane. I find that interesting too, that they're insisting on keeping Dr. Repulsor farming in the aggressive lane, especially after dying there last time. He comes back down and continues to farm here, so we'll see if they are able to take advantage of that again or not.
I think he's like more or less forced to. Either that or the mid lane, but like X-Sync, they desperately need some kills in the near future here. Like, they haven't gotten a single, or they have gotten 2 kills throughout the entire game. Like, not even one successful roam coming out from Moira or Fade so far. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they are just not able. They don't have the luxury to sit back and farm at this point. Like, they cannot rotate Dr. Repulsor over to their own forwards or something and just sit back and try to farm up a Hellflower or something like that, because Thunderclaw is on their way for Tremble. He's gonna have it here in the near future. Like, this is a Tremble that I expected to suffer throughout the laning phase and then get like 0 farm. He's like 360 gold per minute, 2-0-2.
Yeah, he's obviously that bottom fight really is kind of set a pace here for Complexity that they definitely like. You see Moira and Doctor, they're kind of like going back and forth, almost like they may jump here any second, but it's not gonna happen. I mean, Tremble is just maybe a little too tanky this early on. The Steam Boost, the Mystic Vestments, like we're talking about. But here we go. Moira actually finds Empath. Here comes Parasite, though, as well as Tremble. They need to be careful about that. They get the kill on the Empath. But at what cost here? The face on Dr. Repulsor, but Tremble, he's not interested, because here comes the supporting cast for Dr. Repulsor, but so does Moraxis and Bubbles. That's a big fight once again. Dr. Repulsor dead off the bat. The Arcade Shield, it absorbs something right there, doing some work. Meanwhile, Bubbles, or Parasite, got pulled in from the release of Kraken, and he goes down. Bubbles off to the side, the Song of the Sea, silences a couple, and gets the kill on a Faye, but the X-Sync is going to push them back. Tremble, he's not really fighting the most, honestly, but now he's sending his Boris back in, and now he's going in for some right clicks on a Tundra. He doesn't want to, overcommit right here, but he's not necessarily doing that. Tremble is falling, and Tremble is going to go down. Bubbles with a take cover to avoid the charge in the meantime. But the couple more auto attacks. No, he's still alive in the trees. They want the kill. He gets the kill. Moira will finally get it. But Moira goes down. Complexity coming out on top once again of the skirmish down here. That just never ended, man.
I cannot believe how well Complexity executed that fight as well. They were like, just baiting, and the Sync entire squad, like, they were just so, they weren't sure what they wanted to do. Like, Complexity was just baiting them throughout the entire time, buying a lot of time until Empath respawned once again, and Oscar is incredibly tanky with the Matrax, knowing exactly how much he can go in and how much or when to pull out. Like, that was just beautiful from Complexity.
Was indeed an X-Sync, yeah. Maybe got caught a little bit trying to train after it, maybe staying a little longer than they should have. But you look at a lead now for Complexity, 3,300 gold lead, 4,400 experience lead. You got the Thunderclaw and Tremble, and it's just going to start snowballing from here, especially with these triple stack Ancients immediately being gone too. So you do look at X-Sync and try to see what at least they do have going for them. And right now it is a Doctor. You know, his farm's all right. He has the Glowstone here. But other than that, it really has fallen off. I mean, again, this goes back to we talked about yesterday with this Tundra pickup, especially in the Fade. They had that combo. It was very difficult for Reason to play against it because they got an early start. The portal keys kicked in. The constant roam. They got the momentum they needed early on. That's not the case here. Complexity instead has gotten it, and that it really does hurt X-Sync's strategy a lot, considering that they are now pretty far behind with, sure, they have late game, and that's still far off, of course, but they definitely were hoping for an early start. It is very safe to say, I think. So they're going to try for something here in the middle lane.
Who did you say? Wait, who did you say have the late game? Sync?
No, Complexity. I was saying that the late game's still very far away, and that Sync wanted to make sure that they tried to take care of business early on. They're going to try right here again. Bubbles. That is a kill, but at what cost here? The Face Suck immediately responded. He does fall back, though, from it. Is it a buyback? It certainly is. Release the Kraken on the TPs, though. Great placement coming out from KZoo. However, Parasite is going to fall. Nobody dead on X-Sync just yet. Morax is charging in, though. Gets the kill on a Fade. That Arcane Vortex stalling a lot, too, as it does. Tundra, in the meantime, trying to run away. The wall off will, unfortunately, stall him in his tracks, and he does fall. A 3-for-1, well, a 3-for-2 exchange, as there was the buyback from Fuzzy Sloth. But I think it's safe to say it was worth it, and it's not done just yet. Moira also going to get picked off in the end. A double tap for Formless, who's 5-0-7 now on Tremble.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing. 450 gold per minute Tremble. It's so impressive. And now they have Polki on both Bubbles and as well as the Moraxus who had it in that previous fight. Like, this is so bad for Sync Esports. Like, I would like one more team fight and I could seriously see the concede vote coming out.
Yeah.
This is how far Complexity is just ahead. I mean, they're just playing absolutely crazy at this point. I cannot believe that they are in this kind of position with this kind of draft. Like, I expected the Hellborn team to just be so aggressive and just constantly be roaming around, but Complexity not giving Sync Esports not even one opportunity to do so. Well, like, every single time, like in the previous series as well, like every single time that the enemy team just goes for like one of those tower dives or one of those pickoffs, everyone from Complexity is there with a TP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, it's no doubt great play from them, and they're playing it very well as we kind of expected of them, of course, being in the spot in the first place. I will say, though, it really just goes back to that fight at the bottom lane, though. It's a lot of back and forth, but Complexity did just outplay them enough to take that fight, and that just has now controlled the pace. So 4,500 gold lead, nearly a 7,000 experience. And again, I keep looking back at X-Sync and seeing if they have any items yet that are like, oh, at least they got this now. But no, they don't. I mean, Kraken and Tundra, they're both working on portal keys here, but they still don't have it now 16 minutes into this game. Neither one of them. They are getting close, but it is going to be at least another couple of minutes here, most likely.
There's going to be a shrunken head up on Tremble, at least, when their portal keys hits. So even if they get them, like, it's going to be so difficult. Like, who do you actually place it on? Like, you don't want to place it on Parasite necessarily. Like, the Kraken ultimate has to go on Tremble to prevent him from doing damage. Obviously, the Shrunken Head isn't as impactful versus the release of Kraken. It's still going to lock you down. But Bubbles, Moraxus, like, both of them, like, not really optimal targets for the focus of those ultimates, I feel. Release the Kraken and the Avalanche from Tundra.
Mm-hmm. There you go. The portal key on Kraken is going to be finished here. You see he's sitting on the outpost, waiting to get just enough gold, and sure enough, he does. Now, will he try for something? No, he's TPing bottom. Ooh, they want this Tremble. I mean, again, he is 5-0-7 right here. He has quite the bounty on his head. Look at that, though. And the Arcane Vortex going to completely whiff. What a getaway from Formless. He knew that they were trying something there and more attempting to catch him unsuccessfully, though. Look at all these mounds down here, too. He's constantly had a lot of mounds down here to be able to run through. And maybe that's just because how the fights have taken place, but...
Yeah, doing an excellent jump and actually keeping those mounts up. Like, there's one on every single lane right now. And that Mora ultimate just whiffing, like, that's just adding another or additional salt to the wound right now. I mean, Fade is in his ultimate. Actually, it's going to run out, so now that's down for another minute as well. Mm-hmm. And nothing is going the way of Sync Esports right now.
Well, they're trying to find that opening. Again, another Portakey on Tundra now going to be happening here. So they are finally getting some key items, is X-Sync. And
this might actually be the timing that they're looking for. Tremble, if he's going to go for this ancient stack right here. They got a word of sight here from the Hellborn side. They got Portakeys on Tundra and Kraken at this time. Complexity is going to scout out the Shiver though, so they are well aware that Complexity, or that Sync Esports knows that they are taking the stack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be too quickly killed off before any kind of response can happen here. So that'll just be more farm in the bank for Tremble, who has now a full Shrunken Head as well. So that's what'll happen. Gets out of hand. Not only hero kill stats, but obviously just creep farm in general. Has done very well with that Thunderclaw pickup. He has the Shrunken Head now, so that's going to be a difficult task to ask for X-Sync here to try to continue to, or try now to lock him down within these fights here.
Oh, Dr. Pulser's out of mana. He's gonna rotate back to base though. That's a saving grace for him. If he would have just farmed for additional seconds right there, he could have been picked off. But the Complexity, as you can see, they aren't too afraid to take team fights at this point, I think.
Icon of the Goddess is finished on Tremble with that, or excuse me, on Dr. Pulsar. With that said, so bottom lane though, jump on a Parasite. Moore coming in with the illusion. It's taking a little bit longer to kill him than expected. He will finally die. The TPs are coming in. Nice Arcane Vortex from Insania.
Tremble is still there chasing.
Oh, wow, he is. He's actually catching Tundra in the back. Trying to set up a stun. The Kelfield comes out, and they kill Tundra in response in the end. So, I mean, he needed also Shrunken Head right there. So a little bit of an unfortunate circuit. I don't think that was necessary. But committed for the kill. Got it. They're going to get the tower now as well at the bottom first one there. So make it a 1-for-1 at least.
The question is, I don't think the Sync is going to be able to break this tier 2 tower here in the mid lane. No, they're just going to add a little bit of pressure. But of course, Tremble being one of the carries that are the most mobile in the game. Look at Dr. Pulse, by the way, Make it looking for a kill on Empath. I think he's going to go for it as well.
Yeah, and he's dead. That was an easy kill really on a Moira right there. Coming out, so Empath also found as you're talking about. So both supports going down at the same time. As 1,600 gold saved up, by the way, on Bubbles here. So obviously he's had his Portakey for a little bit, and there we go. He's going to buy a Sacrificial Stone, becoming more and more of a powerful item pickup apparently on the scene. I feel like we have been seeing Sac Stones a lot as of late. So, and that's good to see. Again, goes back to it's just obviously a very good, solid core item to have, it feels like, in game. So the icon, though, on Mickey. We'll see where he goes for next. I feel like Mickey's style is kind of like the Hellflower here, but at the same time, I mean, the Grimoire, he is really their carry, and their only carry. You look at their lineup. So, do you think a Grimoire could actually make sense here for Doctor?
Oh, let's see. What heroes are there? Wait, there's actually going to be a fight at the top lane.
Do they have the damage? Those the question, because there's support nearby. Tremble is dropping. He has a Shrunken. He can't get it off the whole time, though. The lockdown was too strong. Bubbles is locked down by the Arcane Vortex. Here comes more Axis, though. Tremble is staying dead, but it looks like Complexity still wants to fight this. Charge away from Kraken. Bubbles getting low, and he is going to end up dying, actually. And X-Sync is coming on top of this fight. Fade with a big stun in the background. They get 3, they get 4. More Axis, the sole survivor, and it might not even be for long. Well, maybe. He Portakeys away as well, and that will be the end of it. But they chose to try to commit to it after Tremble died, and X-Sync capitalized there.
That they did. Unfortunately, a little bit sloppy on Complexity side, but beautiful initiation by Sync Esports and just perfect coordination throughout the entire team fight. I mean, Mafia's coming on, or in from the flank there on the right side as well, getting that Burning Shadows off in the end on 2 targets, just sealed the deal. And now Sync, well, out of a sudden, actually, like, back in the game. Hellflower could potentially be coming up here on Mick, as we were talking about before. Either that or the Grimoire. I almost feel like, as they have 2 Portakeys and very active team with the Moira and the Fade, I would probably personally prefer the Hellflower.
Yeah. Kind of keep that trend going instead of really committing to a late game carry. Just instead say we're gonna win the mid game basically. So, well, there we go with his answer. At least he does pick up the Life Brand, and so that is more of a I want to have something that I can scale into the late game with. Bottom lane, good job by Casey right there, reacting to the Boris net coming out. Charged away at the last second, just in case there was follow-up there, so he's able to avoid any chance of a jump there. Tremble working on that Brutalizer, but again, we saw last fight, if they're able to jump him, they do have enough lockdown to kill him without him being able to activate that shrunken head. So it's about that jump, which they do have plenty of now, especially the double portal key, the ludicrous speed initiation, and Fade on top of that, who's not going to get a kill because she's by herself. But
yeah, his ultimate ran out now as well. I don't think that they are going to be able to spot her. No, should be good for now at least. But yeah, that's the downside with Empath. Like, it sure boosts your offensive stats, but like defensively, like, it's a little bit greedy. The fact that you can do nothing to actually keep the Tremble alive.
Let me see here. Oh, I guess I didn't have that on, so there we go. Anyways, we do have the middle lane here. 23.5 minutes in, and Dr. Repulsor is pushing it out beyond the river a little bit. Moira's nearby, so just in case, but doesn't look like the Legion side's too interested in making a jump happen. You'd figure, again, the Hellborn side and X-Sync is going to be the one to have jumps take place, if any. So Zlapt, by the way, does have a Neophytes book. He went to Portakey first, but I know Tundra's definitely a hero that a puzzle box is pretty powerful on. So I'm guessing that's what we're going to probably see there. As middle lane, they do find Dr. Repulsor. Boris net to follow. He pulls him in. There's the ludicrous speed. And he gets away. So well played there by Doctor. A little too slippery.
Suddenly once, close attempt. Kraken going to pick up the tier 1 tower at the bottom, and Tundra is actually going to try to get a kill onto Empath. Not going to be quite enough though. Avalanche was used.
Once and for all.
You got Fade right here. He's got the ultimate up. X-Sync, they want to go in. They want to go. Oh, Fade missed the stun though. Moraxis jumps in first, and here's a big jump coming up for Complexity. Now, nice Arcane Vortex. Will they be able to respond after it, though? They get the Kona Kraken. At least it buys time for Tundra to get away right there, but Moira also going to be left behind for being killed off. So it is a 2-kill. Well, should be. Okay, there we go. No, maybe. Okay, there we go. Make it 3 kills. Double tap for Husker coming out right there.
Flash a taunt, just showing it off as well. That 555 Vikings dancing. I'm not entirely sure what's the meaning of the 555, but
that's,
hey, at least
Thailand, man. You don't know it? That's what they mean. That's like the taunt they use, or to type out like ha ha ha. Basically, they type out 555. It has something to do with like their keyboard and stuff. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyways, that's what it means though.
All right,
like something funny happened basically.
Complexity, though, taking a team fight right there. I did not expect that. I thought that X-Sync was actually going to be able to go into that team fight in a relatively good position, having Fade in the backline, scouting everyone out. But a beautiful jump by Fuzzy and Asuka once again, just getting 2 people in that Quake stun. Arcane Vortex a little bit late, unfortunately. Not necessarily Insania's fault, it's just so difficult to deal with all that burst damage. Like, you need instant reactions if you want to have a chance to actually save your teammates in this game.
Yeah, no, it was quick, but yeah, definitely wasn't exactly right as he jumped in by any means, but he is a human after all. He is not a god, like his name
There's a limit to how fast you can react, safe to say.
But again, they're kind of setting up middle lane to maybe bait something out here, but the
Tremble
top lane...
top lane, do they have any dust, though? That's the question. I don't think they do.
No.
Tremble actually running in a little bit prematurely right there, because there was 2 Veil Rot targets running in. Bubbles and Meraxis would have been able to secure that kill onto Fade, but Formless unfortunately got scouted out.
Yeah, so that gives the information for Matthias to walk away. 0-4-6 here. He definitely has not had a great game, and missing the stun there on the opening of the initiation last fight. It's been a little off here, but I'm sure Matthias going to start recovering here with that set. Dr. Repulsor, though, Grimoire is finished. Just has it delivered right there, so definitely has some nice little added damage output as well. The 15% here with the buff. Conqueror, they're interested, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it yet.
No, they don't really have any heroes that screams Conqueror kill. Like, Doctor, of course, is a great hero with a token, probably the best one in the game, but other than that, like, they don't really have anyone to tank him or kill him. They don't have any Abyssal Skull, no creeps to tank it, and obviously Dr. Repulsor deals mostly magic damage at this point. There is going to be a portal key though on Moira here in the near future, and Fade is only 600 gold away from his as well. So that's potentially something that X-Sync is looking for here. But Dr. Repulsor, yeah, he went for the Grimoire, so he's going a little bit more into that late game transition, but at the same time, like, he's going to need a Shrunken Head before he can successfully take a team fight, and then I feel like he's going to need either a Sheepstick or a Hellflower as well to actually be able to do his thing in the team fights. So there's a lot of items for him to build up before he can really start taking real effect here. It's going to come sooner or later, of course, if this game progresses, but as of right now, he's not too much of a use in a team fight.
Yeah. Tremble. That's what I was getting at. Tremble, something's being delivered. It is a firebrand. Okay. Geometer Spain going to be probably next in line. Oh, trying to make sure that the courier's not sniped there, but it's the firebrand delivered, though. I guess it could be the full Frostburn even. That would make sense, too. And eventually like a Frost of Skull, Geometer Spain. Split up, of course, so we'll see what he does prioritize here, but he's only gotten Geos and firebrand once each. Oh, okay. So there you go. Kind of looks at what he's doing here a little bit. As the top tower does go down, though. When he was killed earlier, by the way, again, I was looking at it, it's nearly a 600 gold bounty that Kraken actually got. So he got a nice boost in farm from that to Keizu. And showing a bit, he actually chose to go with Shrunken Head here on top of the portal key. Some extra stand strong. Fade has 2150 gold. I'm guessing, there you go, buying a portal key here from the side shop. So they have another portal. Everyone has a portal key minus Doctor, but of course he has this ludicrous speed. So they have ways.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of jump potential here for the Hellborn team now. I would assume that they are going to try to go for a team fight as well. I mean, they seem pretty confident into taking it into the late game as well. Obviously, Sync Esports is very good at like map control and late game decisions when it just comes to moving around as a team, but so is Complexity for that mean. So, and they probably have the better late game in terms of heroes, just when it comes to mobility. Depends on how well Dr. Repulsor is going to do, but as long as they keep him locked down, like I feel like he's going to fall victim rather quickly when it comes to the late game.
We're going to have really a big skirmish, big fight here in a little bit between the two teams, but in that farming mindset for the time being. But you got to think that X-Sync may be looking to, again, try to capitalize with all the porta keys that they do have here. Not that they haven't been. I'm sure they definitely have been trying. You see the Shiver is scouting out yet again. Zlap playing the Tundra here. Definitely, I'm once again sure he's been on top of that. Right here. Again, this is a straight-up best-of-3, guys. Just to remind you, this does say on the screen as well, but best-of-3, game number 1 here between Complexity and X-Sync here in the Grand Finals. So, looking forward to seeing how this one continues to move on, but also in the series, and definitely getting a good series, as we hoped for. To kick it all off here. So, Cycle 1 is proven to be a great cycle here, I think it's safe to say. Good way to kick off Haunter Season 4. No matter how
as you have been mentioning as well in those videos that's been rolling in the breaks in between the games as well, like there's so many games, like so much content to watch, so there's plenty of opportunities to just go there and do scrimcasts and of course tournament VODs and all that kind of stuff, so just stream and looking into the competition, chances to improve, simple said, for all the competitive teams and players that want tournament access or tournament information or tournament whatever it's called, tournament value games.
Yep, and there is also the we're on that topic actually. If you go to ontour.com, the events tab, there's constantly other events going on as well outside of Haunter, even the more the fun style events and more the amateur. You could say from Mid-Wars to Grimm's Crossing and whatnot. So definitely look for that, guys. If getting some friends playing in those tournaments there, again, HauntTour.com can sign up, and it's easy, it's free, of course, and sure a lot of fun. I've personally never been able to do it myself, and it's unfortunate because I would love to, but I do the whole casting thing for.
And then when you say it's easy, I assume that you or refer to signing up and actually taking part rather than...
Yes. I mean, for me, it would be easy to win, of course. Yeah, but
exactly. That's what I wanted to hear.
It's easy to sign up, though. All right. Back to this one, though. Abyssal Skull just finished by Love here playing the Empath. It's a support hero that tends to get Abyssal Skull because, really always on top of his melee carry with the As-1 ability. So kind of just makes it as if he has one himself.
All right, so the break just finished, and well, as a trend, usually after after breaks, there's a good opportunity for you to actually take just a big team fight right after, because people are going to be a little bit distracted, not necessarily minding themselves of where everyone is located on a map. And of course, they got 2 pull keys now. I don't think that Complexity has picked up on that quite yet. They could probably assume that it's going to be here in the near future for Mora and a Fade, but I don't think they have yet to see it.
Yeah.
So with a double damage rune as well on Dr. Repulsor, it's safe to say that I think that X-Sync wants to take a team fight here.
Yeah, well, at the same time, though, he's heading kind of bottom down here. It looks like he's instead going to go to the Ancients. Triple stack them and maybe look to do those. Meanwhile, back over on the left side of the map, you got Fade is looking to find somebody. You got the Shiver as well. But in the end, falls back from there. So Dr. Repulsor instead is going to use that double damage to once again farm the Ancients. And get the higher GPM here now, 24, nearly 2,500 gold saved up. Again, how is he going to follow up the Grimoire here? I wonder if the Shrunken Head is going to come to mind or not.
I think he has to go for it.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, I think the silence and a lockdown from Parasite and Bowls is going to be too much for him.
Oh, looks like, yeah, this is an Invis Doctor with a double damage. It is going to wear off here in a second, though, is the DD, so a little less threatening, I guess. As there's a jump to on a Fade, they happen to find him roaming about, and they get a quick kill.
Repulsor's still around, by the way. Mara's going to come in as well, but I don't think that the backup is here.
No.
Probably just scouting around a little bit.
They were hoping maybe somebody else, but more access like Empath. There you go.
That might be the kill that they were looking for. No.
Never mind.
It's probably a little bit too greedy without a Shrunken Head.
Yeah.
Oscar was in the neighborhood as well, so a Quake stun, not too far away.
So, not really making the... Or not getting a jump, I should say, out of the Invis Rune as Dr. Repulsor. Instead, we'll go back to farming elsewhere. But bottom tower push now for Complexity. Going to start happening down here. All 5 are here. Parasite and the Wild Hunter off to the side. May try to flank around. Tundra just got the puzzle box, by the way. It is only level 1. No, they're not going to deny it, and he actually jumps in. The Avalanche going to be canceled out by the take cover. Marax is jumping in with the smash in the background. Kizu falling quickly off the bat, charges away. Meanwhile, Bubbles, though, he gets picked off. Marax is dropping now. Treble sitting on Fade. We'll get the kill on him, but Treble, he needs to do a lot more. The Arcane Vortex going to hold him in place, though, and they're just going to run on out of there. So, well, a 2 for 2, I guess. The tower kill in favor of the Legion side as well. So, well, I guess they slightly come out on top.
I was under the impression that Complexity was just dominating that team fight. It was a beautiful jump by Oscar once again, hitting Kraken before he could get off his Shrunken Head and before he could pull Key in and just lock someone down with the release of Kraken. So he bought a lot of time, but unfortunately they weren't able to bring anyone down except for, of course, the Tundra and the Fade, which isn't the biggest deal. So I would probably favor Sync even in that clash right there, seeing as more important heroes on their part survived. I guess it's quite even.
Yeah, overall, pretty even fight. But again, the secondary tower for Complexity at least going down in their favor. Tremble, he just got the Geometer Speed, by the way, purchased and delivered to him. So now he has that, and going to be focusing on another or next tier item now, whatever he chooses. You know, mentioned the Wing Bow or the Frosto Skull. Seems like those are going to be the options. By the way, Parasite's found by Moira. Doctor follows it and gets the kill. So Insania constantly being active with that illusion. There's a reason he has 13 assists in this game.
And as a like differently from other supports, like Insania tends to max the third ability as well, the Forge ability, rather than maxing up the Mana Sunder, just to be able to be active with that illusion constantly. Just provide a vision and of course set up ganks as well.
There's that Shrunken Head, purchased and delivered to Mickey. It's once again the illusion of Insania. Feels like there's no cooldown.
So annoying. Yeah, exactly. Like the cooldown reduces while it's active, so.
That just melts.
That's one way to do it.
In. Yeah, no, Ludicrous Speed, it's some good damage, especially with that Grimoire. If he's flying from a good distance, which he was right there, it will do a lot of damage.
There was actually a question on the last week's trivia. Which spell in the game deals the most damage?
Oh, yeah?
One burst. Both me and What You Got, there was the other contestants got it wrong, though. I was actually guessing on Soul Reaper's ultimate, while What You Got was guessing on Pyromonster's ultimate, but it turned out to be the speed from Dr. Repulsor. Obviously didn't keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the most damage, honestly, probably Soul Reaper. That was actually a good guess. I didn't want to think about that. But, yeah, no. On paper, technically, Dr. Repulsor, yeah, would be able to do the most damage because of the ludicrous speed right there. So there is no cap on it, I guess, and that really has the biggest reason for it. The cap is the mana pool that you got.
Yeah, we got a Hellflower, by the way, on Oscar. Yes, once again, this is, well, from the start, a Suicide Miraxis, more or less. He was in the safe lane, but he was technically Suicide. He was up versus 3 heroes, at least. So, him having 300 gold per minute, being 7, 9, or 7, 2, and 9, and having a Hellflower Polki 35 minutes into the game is quite impressive. So now they need to be careful, because Dr. Pulse, they do have the Shrunken Head, but obviously, if they were to get a jump off, they could potentially burst him down before the Shrunken Head is activated, so...
Bubble's going to fall back from the top lane, deciding it's best not to continue to move up there. As a team, Complexity really farming out their own jungle here. You see, you can tell that they're suspicious of maybe the Shiver being nearby or Fade perhaps, but unable to find the Shiver. Zlap did a good job of kind of keeping it hidden here and getting that great information. So Doctor is going to start falling back from the top lane, though. As I say that, figuring doesn't want to hang around a little or too long, as they are starting to head on over now. As Bubbles is here, Veiled Rock gank from Fade, but pops a reflection there actually. So this is the actual invis now. And Bubbles, he may want to try to jump in, but a Veiled Rock Mirax is also here. Oh boy, here we go. The take cover this top. The turn kill chance. Fade is going to die off the bat. Doctor pulls with the Hellflower. He's in trouble. One more attack. No, he flies away. He just has enough mana. Maybe.
He's not going to get away from this one.
I don't think he is. One more auto attack. Oh, they were getting 4 tags, but here comes Miraxis to secure it in the end. The Illusion, who really cares about that. So, boy, that was close. But, man, yeah, the Vilrod Oscar, that was, he's 9-2-9 this game.
He's just on top of it this game, like this entire day, like the previous series as well. Like, this guy is just playing out of his mind. I cannot believe how well, like, every single time he's at the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
there's a Wild Hunter in the mid as well. What you got could potentially find Imora. Another bathroom break. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, another pause here. Yeah, Sinka was. There you go. Timing out. They were pretty adamant. Wanted to get things going ASAP, and there were some breaks there. So maybe getting a little bit uneasy of these pauses here as X-Sync. And you throw on top of it that they're down here in game number 1. It's kind of a little bit of frustration, I'm sure, kind of kicking in. But it's,
I mean, to be fair, X-Sync was the team that we were waiting for before the series were to start. You would have expected it to be Complexity needing the break in between the series, but nope, it was X-Sync that we were waiting for.
Yeah, both teams did have a little bit of an issue, apparently, so yeah, I guess that is fair, but okay, he is back now.
They made the point that, wanted to get up early as well. I mean, obviously, this Complexity team is from USA, so they're 6 hours behind, or 6 to 9 hours behind in the time schedule.
Yeah, they're good. So it's early, and it's a Labor Day weekend here in the States, at least. And so on Monday, actually, it's Labor Day, and a lot of businesses and schools have off. So, yep, I got a 3-day weekend here.
That's pretty nice.
Meanwhile, jump into the Conqueror pit, Tremble. He's sitting on top of it, and he's still there. I mean, I thought that would have scared him off.
Yeah, what is his?
Okay,
yeah, he's gonna retreat for now at least. I mean, doing Conqueror at this. I mean, they have been playing so... Okay.
Now it's their turn to DC. Yeah.
But the Complexity is playing so patient. Like, they're patient. They're sitting behind in the forest, farming, making the right call. So I would be really surprised if they actually wanted to, all of a sudden, just commit to a Conquer fight on Hellborn side of the map.
Yeah. Especially
when the Earth is both a Mora Illusion, of course, and a Shiver from Tundra. That's going to be incredibly difficult and probably not the kind of team fight that they're looking for at this point.
Okay. He's ready once again.
I do think the Complexity should try to focus down the Kraken. So far, Dr. Repulsor deals like no damage. Like, it doesn't really have any damage items quite yet. Grimoire, of course, you could count that as a damage item, but it's coming to more of an effect later on into the game. So as long as they get rid of the Kraken and so that he cannot use to release the Kraken on top of Tremble, Tremble should be able to, like, just deal tons of damage to everyone on the Sync side. But as long as the release the Kraken is up there, like, Tremble is more or less just ineffective in the team fights.
Well, Avalanche too. That is superior magic. So they do have a couple ways to actually lock down this Tremble, even with the Shrunken Head up. Actually, kind of just hitting me, noticing that there. So I mentioned about Kraken, but speaking of Moira, trying to kill off some mounts. He's been doing that a couple times. It's actually back to the top lane. Yeah, Kraken, the wall off right there. They find him in the trees and they take him out. Doctor's nearby. Oh, Hellflower. No, not really enough follow-up though. Going to get close enough, so Doctor is going to be fine, but the pick on a Kraken, he has a buyback, nearly 3,000 gold, in fact. So not a huge deal there at least, but this is going to be a cue to maybe go over to Congo now and perhaps bait it out if anything.
Yeah, at least tier 2 tower in the mid, I would assume, to come out of this. The question is, does Sync want to take the fight, or do they want to just sit back and wait for Complexity to try to siege the base instead? I actually think that they're going to let the tier 2 tower in the mid fall, and then if they were to commit to the Congo, then Kraken is going to buy back.
Here we go, 5 are here. I thought I just saw a Frostswift Skull purchased by Tremble. I don't know if that would be an actual full Frostswift Skull or not. I mean, he has 600 GPM.
It has to be. Like, it would make no sense whatsoever for him to buy a recipe when he doesn't have a buyback, seeing as he's one of the heroes that are like most useful with the buybacks. Obviously, with the mounts, he can get straight back into the team fight, kind of like the Silhouette if he's got her illusion up.
All right, oh, look at that. The Moira illusion immediately gets hellflowered and everything else and killed. So that was a good heads up by Complexity. There's a Frost of Skull being delivered. Almost.
Yeah, the question is if Mick is gonna jump. Like, he's trying to flank. He's behind. No, they're not gonna go for it.
Now that's interesting. He had the Frost. Okay, no, he didn't get it though. Okay, so he put something else in the curry. Wait, no, he has it. The token on Bubbles. There you go. That makes sense. All right, I was gonna say because yeah, he would have a full inventory, but no, he gives it to Bubbles instead. The team has decided that is best, so makes sense there.
Oswald Skull. Is that a usual pickup on Tremble?
Yeah, I would say so with the double attack. Pretty good.
Yeah, I guess. He's up versus Free Melee, so yeah, definitely a good pickup, but I don't know.
It's either that or Wingbow, I think is what it would have been.
Yeah, I think the more usual build usually is the Wingbow. I don't know. Okay, first of Skull at least, it works pretty well in this game. Or in general, as you were pointing out, they were the double attack.
Yep, this farmed of a Tremble, never a good sign in this case for X-Sync, but Dr. Repulsor, you know, can get the jump, and they've shown that they got some great lockdown. We are talking about even with the shrunken head up on Tremble, even if he manages to get that up, they have both released the Kraken as well as Avalanche to use. That can still deal with him as far as keeping him in place at least. So, and then obviously on top of it all, the Arcane Vortex even, if necessary. So yeah, there's X-Sync by all means still has a solid chance here. It's just Complexity is starting to get into a pretty sweet spot now.
That they sure are. I'm curious if they're going to commit to this. Sieging the base here. I would have personally preferred for their choice of siege would have been at the top lane instead, so they could have actually secured the Hellborn team's force and got a vision up there instead, but they're gonna commit here to the bottom. So far no reaction from Mickey, by the way, up at the top.
Now, Tremble doesn't have the token, remember. He just happens to be really tanky as Bubbles jumps in.
That's true.
There comes the Arcane Vortex. Tower goes down, and here we go in the background. Fate jumping Bubbles, actually. The Hellfire and Kraken. Kraken's going to die just like that. Parasite in the Mauler, doing work now against Moira. Moira's going to go down as well. Avalanche coming out, but Tremble, he is still pretty good to go for the time being. That Frost of Skull and everything else doing work.
No
a hat trick for Forbliss. GG, well played. Game 1. Going to Complexity against X-Sync here in this best-of-3 grand final. So congratulations, Complexity. The Tremble, man. That was a first-pick Tremble.
So
X-Sync
incredibly
let it go.
smart from them. They are playing so damn well. I didn't think they would actually be able to show this kind of performance here today. But they are just playing like... I've never seen them play this well. Like, never before. So Hunter Season 4, yeah, definitely looks like USA is going to be a real threat here.
Well, they're obviously in the
love
grand
how they
finals,
picked up,
so.
by the way. Yeah, of course. But just in general, you know, I mean, this shows of great consistency as well. Like, not just like a fluke or anything. Like, they're running different lineups every single time. And just the